Here we go on a Friday. Topics galore, live in the upstate. This is First and Tim. Wherever you may be, however you may be listening, YouTube channel, Spotify. Drama in the desert last night with Thursday night football. LeBron's shooting woes continue as the Lakers are 0-2. And Christian McCaffrey goes to the 49ers. I was 4-1 last week with my scorching amazing Blazin 5, and I'll get to that a little bit later. Hope you guys are doing well. I'll go ahead and start with this. Once you have success, it may sound unfair, but Elon Musk is a really rich guy. So half of his ideas are like Crazy Town, but he's Elon Musk, so everyone listens. And a lot of people buy into it. You see this with politicians. You think they're nuts. They're off their mark. They're goofy. But, hey, it's my senator. They're successful. They must know what they're talking about. Well, guess what? A lot of people don't. But success buys you a lot. Tom Brady barking at his O-line this past week. And one of the greatest offensive linemen in the last 10 years, Jason Kelce of the Eagles. Very funny guy, very outspoken. He does not like quarterbacks getting in his face. Except for one.
It's not Brady. I can't say nothing. If Tom yells at me, I'm probably not going to say nothing neither. But playing O-line's hard. If there's one thing I do not like, it is quarterbacks getting into offensive line. Like, bro, I am doing the best I can, brother. Come out of my face. I will put you in that trash can over there if you don't shut the up. The last thing I want is a motherfucker that can't get hit, or it's called roughing the passer, to come up to me and tell me how to wrestle somebody every foot.
Very funny guy. A little profane for my taste. But if you look at the history of Jason Kelce, his quarterbacks have been Nick Foles, Sam Bradford, Garner Minshew, Mark Sanchez, Vince Young, Carson Wentz, and now an emerging player, Jalen Hurts. They shouldn't yell at him. And like walk-through actors on a set, you shouldn't yell at the staff, at the production staff. But Tom Cruise did, because he thought they were wasting his time and wasting the studio's money. And the video got out, and Tom Cruise was very upset.
I don't want to see you again, ever. And if you don't do it, you're fired. And I see you do it again, you're gone.
So he reamed everyone, and it mattered. And he was right. By the way, Bill Gates used to bark, and Steve Jobs in the Apple and Microsoft meetings. They've earned it. If Sam Bradford yelled at Jason Kelce, it would look utterly ridiculous. Kelce's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. You see these studies all the time. Taller people are more successful. It seems unfair. But Michael Jordan, you watched the documentary, treated a lot of people harshly. And they all said, and we're better for it. Success matters. One of the reasons I defended Brady barking earlier this week, and Kobe, and Peyton, I didn't defend backups barking. That's what I say about Aaron Rodgers. I like more wins. You can be snarky and you can be cynical, but it'd be nice if you won more and beat quality teams. But he is Aaron Rodgers. By the way, Jason Kelce, Travis's brother, who's also going to be a first-team Hall of Famer, did you notice he didn't get to talk during that segment? He didn't talk about getting yelled at. You know why? Because his quarterback is Patrick Mahomes, and his coach is Andy Reid. Andy barks, and Mahomes infrequently barks as well, and Travis would listen. It is the reality of it. Goats get a bark. I don't know about real life, but in sports, business, tech, movies, they do. And sometimes it's appropriate. and uncomfortable. But Tom Cruise gets to. A D-list actor doesn't. So the story surrounding New England and the Boston area all this week was, okay, well, what's with Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi? Man, this guy's really something else. So this is my take. So Mac Jones can play for the Patriots now. And now I don't see this as a quarterback controversy. Now, Jones is not winning a ton. He's an under 500 quarterback with the best coach ever. He's not very productive. 24 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. He was ticking the coaches off because he wanted ad-libbing and throwing more picks. Let's put it as politicians with, we have to vote next month for our senators and whatnot. Mac Jones is a very weak incumbent. He ran unopposed and won by 6 votes. And that's the way I would categorize it. Bailey Zappi may not be the answer, but he's got a good last name. He's got a little juice. He's got energy, and his constituents or his coaches like him. So for a moment, I'm going to take the role of his campaign manager. All right? I'm campaigning for Bailey Zappi. I would stick with him, but maybe in 4 weeks we'll know that he can't play. But we're going to move forward. And so I'm going to go with, I'm happy with the Zappy. For those listening, you can't see the graphic campaign buttons that I'll be posting, but we'll go with it. Unless it doesn't connect with our audience, then we might take a little further and say, well, as long as he's not playing crappy, stick with Zappy. Now, no one likes negativity, but if this goes another way, and it closes race, and it's a close race between the two quarterbacks, I'll have to go with Mac is whack. And that'll be my third and final campaign button. So question, I'm trying to figure out, where's the people behind backing Mac Jones? His constituents, the media. I mean, Boston media, they don't care. And the fans, they want to win games. Look, they tried Cam, and it didn't work. They tried Mac, and they're both about under 500 with Belichick. And Zappy has had 2 games with over 100 in his passer rating. I don't think there's a quarterback controversy. You gave nothing to get him. You didn't give up any picks like a Trey Lance. You didn't pay him like a Dak Prescott. And this is the story of the NFL. And maybe Mac Jones was getting into, the fields of what he remembered. They were doing something different stuff with coordinators. Mac Jones has probably got high school and college, the better talent, but I wouldn't take Zappy out unless I had a reason to take him. If he didn't play crappy, I'm going with Zappy. Remember how long it took Mac Jones to become the starter in Alabama? Heisman winner finalist? And he goes to the NFL and he's a big hit? And now he's getting supplanted by someone named Bailey Zappi? Well, we'll see where it goes. They play the Bears Monday night. They've yet to say who really starts, but they said Mac Jones is a go. So, breaking overnight, let's go ahead and go with this. Let's start with the Christian McCaffrey news to the Niners. Now, don't kid yourself. The Rams wanted him, and Kansas City probably looked into it. And the Niners thought, we're not letting our biggest rival in division get him, Sean McVay. And with McCaffrey, no thank you. And when we meet Andy Reid in the Super Bowl, the last thing we want is for him or Buffalo to have that was part of this plan. The Niners gave their brilliant offensive coach another weapon. You notice what the Buffalo Bills in the offseason gave their brilliant defensive coach? Another pass rusher. What did Les Snead, the GM of the Rams, do last year with his brilliant offensive coach? He got him OBJ. By the way, the Vikings now lead for OBJ, and they have an offensive coach. Pete Carroll gave up a ton for Jamal Adams, a safety on the defensive side. Smart GMs realize this. Every coach has an expertise, a side of the ball, and the smartest GMs give their coaches another weapon on their side. Debo and McCaffrey with Kyle Shanahan, the options, the looks, it's going to be fantastic. Two of the great chess pieces in the NFL with maybe the first smartest offensive head coach. But Tim, they gave up 4 picks. Yes, they did. Probably more than what I would have preferred to give up. But again, they were keeping away from the Rams, from Kansas City. Here's the other thing the Niners. They're stacked. Their first draft pick was a late second rounder. They believe there's not a single college player they can draft late on the second round who can start for this team. And they're right outside of maybe center, looking at their defense. They got stars. Safety, star. At corner, they got 2 stars. 2 stars at linebacker. An edge rusher, he's a star. Defensive lineman, look at their offense. Wide receivers, stacked. Now running back, stacked. All-time left tackle. Where the Chargers were back in 2007, they had a Pro Bowl-infused roster. Marty Schottenheimer, 14-2. They gave up multiple picks because they were weak at safety, and they got Eric Weddle. And the theory was, there's nobody in this draft that can start for us except that safety. And Weddle was the best available safety in their eyes. The Niners are like, what are we giving up some depth? We'd rather have a star. And I know I hear this, Tim, he's always hurt. Yes, he is. But he's not a volume player with the 49ers. He's a chess piece. He's an 8-touch, 9-touch a game guy. Debo, Brandon Ayuk, Elijah Mitchell, come back. They've got lots of little pieces, lots of added value for a guy they're not going to ask to touch the ball 20 times a game. You weren't Kansas City, Buffalo. Now, it's the one play that makes a difference. You watch San Francisco and Kansas City in the Super Bowl, it was one more pass, and they went all in. And that's what the Niners believe they're in now. The Bills are in now, and the Chiefs are in now. San Francisco's going all in. This is what the Rams did when they got Von Miller. And then they went and got OBJ. They go all in. Does it make you vulnerable? Yes, you can be vulnerable. The Rams are now this year, because of cluster injuries, you can't predict those. Do you think the Rams regretted this morning? You think when they look down at that Super Bowl ring, they're like, darn it, wish we had another win this year. It's the price you pay for greatness. You've got to take a big swing. The Warriors in the NBA take big swings. All right, last year in baseball, the trade deadline. The Atlanta Braves, they took big swings. Most people that end up hitting it big get out of their comfort zone. Makes you a little uncomfortable. You gave up a lot of draft pick guys that would not start for this team. And what's it telling you? Also, it's something I know is true, and people are fighting this by basically giving up the 2023 draft. They're telling you we don't know what the future is with Trey Lance. We don't know how good he is. We don't know what the future is, but we know now we can go to the Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't make this move unless they believe they can be a Super Bowl team. And since you know it's already happened, they think it'll happen again, and the NFC is weaker for it. Look at this morning's San Francisco BB gun offense. You think Daniel Jones is going to knock you out in the playoffs? The Rams beat up offensive line. The Rams struggle with the Niners. Down in Tampa, you've got distracted Tom Brady. Minnesota's good, but Kirk Cousins shrinks in primetime. Philadelphia, I think they're good, but Nick Sirianni, look. Kyle Shanahan, one game to win. I don't know. I take Kyle Shanahan with that one. Yes, it's more than most people will be comfortable with, but this is what keeps it away from Andy Reid, the Bills, and Sean McVay. He's not going to be a volume ball carrier. He's going to be a chess piece, and when San Francisco looks at their roster, and it's absolutely stacked in my opinion, Only Buffalo was close to it. Kansas City roster is not this good. They're looking at rarefied air, and they're saying these games with Kansas City and these games potentially with Buffalo at the end of the year, they're coming down to one play. And we got a guy that can make that play. I like it. Big swing. All right, so Thursday Night Football, it was actually a fun game. I got to be honest with you, it was a fun game last night. You know, Arizona, as they've been saying, they're just too darn talented to not win a lot of games. Now, I don't know if I trust them situationally. I don't know if I trust their coach. He's not a disaster, but I don't know if I trust him in big games against Shanahan or McVay or whatever. But the end of the first half, Twitter freaked out because Kyler Murray is over there barking at his head coach. Calm the F down. Folks, it's live sports. Actors get 20 takes. Columnists have copy editors. Sports is live. It's one take. It's intense. It's fast. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. It's raw and authentic. You want fake? Then go watch a scripted drama. That's not what this is. And by the way, it's why the only thing anybody watches in America on linear TV is sports. That's all they watch because it's raw and it's uncomfortable. And that's what that was. And it's live. You don't know what's going to happen. And sports is now added in my lifetime. Sports is now added in my lifetime. 25 cameras per event. You see everything. You hear everything. Just recently, everybody's iPhone. You got coaches throwing headsets. You can read lips. Everything is in slow motion. They had a play last night, and that Saints-Cardinal game on the sideline, they literally went to, like, the microphone. They went down the sideline, and they're, like, in and out, and they finally come back from a commercial, and they had it down to a blade of grass. This is the world we live in. We see and hear everything. Peyton Manning, you didn't see it live, but later on NFL films, yelling and screaming and barking at Jeff Saturday as a center. And Tom Brady, now you see it live, screaming and yelling at offensive linemen. And Kyler's barking at his head coach. And I'm okay with it. It's real. It's raw. It's unedited. And it's wonderful. And that's why I love sports. If you can handle it, turn the channel. Pro sports is not for you, and it's not for everybody. But there's a lot of pressure in Arizona right now. There's pressure on Kyler. There's pressure on the coach. There's pressure on the GM. And then here comes DeAndre Hopkins in your home. And you better win this game. Or Cliff Kingsbury. The story yesterday, Sean Payton's taking his job. And this is what transpires down in the red zone. It's live. It's raw. It's unedited. It's sports, folks. The Draymond Green punch. What was Steve Kerr's first reaction? Who let the video out? His second reaction. This stuff happens. It's not no deal. You don't root for it. But if you love sports and pro sports, sometimes the player fires back at the coach. I know it's not the way it works in my hometown high school ball. You never do that to the coach, and you never yell at Nick Saban. Kyler Murray's worth $250 million. He gets an opinion too. He's more valuable than the coach. Aaron's more valuable than his coach. Tom's more valuable than Belichick. I like Andy Reid. Mahomes is more valuable. Says in high school sports. It's not college sports. It's pro sports. These are real people. A lot of pressure to win. Now. Live. Score. Kyler and Cliff afterwards.
Clock was running down, and we couldn't have got off the play that we were trying to run, so it was, I guess it was my fault. I'll take it. He's real animated over there on the sideline sometimes, so it's always, it's never, calm down, we're good, we're gonna make it right. We ended up scoring, so that was good, but yeah, that's all I'm saying. Just chill out. He's a pretty calm guy. Is that surprising? I mean, outside of the game, he's like...
He's usually chill, until Sunday.
It's just one of those things on the field. We had a difference of opinion. He said I didn't look good on TV, acting that fiery. So he said, I don't know, this is a Gen Z thing. You're on TV, so calm down. I'm like, I like showing emotion. It's good. I think we're working through, like I said, as an offense where we want to be and what we want to do. And when you have competitors that have a level of intensity like that, I think it'll keep pushing us forward.
When I said the Draymond thing wasn't the end of the world, I support passion. I support intensity. I support MJ and yelling and screaming, and there's a lot of different ways for this stuff to get that. I supported Brady yelling at the offensive lineman. Leadership comes in a lot of forms. It's not always pretty. This is not high school sports. It's not college sports where the coaches are lunatics and power-hungry guys at the top that are yelling and screaming. These are pro athletes, and there's a lot of money at stake, and there's not much time, and here comes the clock, and the crowd, and the yelling, and ESPN, and the Fox guys, and Skip Bayless, and Stephen A., and talking and ripping, and fire this guy, and fire that guy, and you want them to be like, golly gee, coach, what should we do here? Come on. It's live. It's raw. I like it. So I watch sports and not scripted dramas. Love it. So, there's some concern about the king. Old LeBron and his Lakers. Their first two games, they are 19 of 85 on three-pointers. And they won't stop shooting. The top 5 in the league and shooting. I was reading Kirk Goldsberry this morning on Twitter. They just made 24 of their 101 jump shots. I mean, this is Westbrook, okay? That's what he is. Brick. 2 of 11. Pat Bev, 2 of 11. AD, 2 of 12. Lonnie Walker's is awful. LeBron's bad. It's almost like they could use Buddy Hield in the Westbrook trade. Oh, wait. Which everybody's been demanding in Los Angeles for several months. So what does LeBron year 20 do brilliantly still this level? Drive and kick, and the Lakers front office have surrounded him with no shooters. He won titles in Miami with shooters. He won title in Cleveland with shooters. Even KCP, they used to have him in the Bubblicious year. They won the Bubblicious championship. They won the COVID year. They won. KBC could hit those big threes. Now it's just the Westbrook issue. Yes, Russell Westbrook offensively is completely broken. It's a roster deficiency issue, okay? Westbrook's an easy target, and he was awful last night. It's in his head. He's broken, and because the fans are on him now, he's pressing, obviously. Even his free throw shooting went down last year. It's obviously in Westbrook's head. He's broken. He's an offensive player. But this will be the 8th straight season the Lakers are in the bottom 10 in three-point percentage. Now look, this was a problem way before Russell Westbrook. It's understood in Miami. Pat Riley, you get LeBron, you bring in the shooters. Ray Allen, Shane Battier, Mike Miller. Then in Cleveland, they get Kevin Love. They could have had Andrew Wiggins out of the draft, but they wanted a shooter, Kevin Love. One of the better big shooters in the league. Kyrie Irving, guys that could. They brought in J.R. Smith, another guy that can shoot. I mean, come on, we've been doing this for 20 years with LeBron. We know what he's great at, driving. He doesn't like his bigs to clog the lane because when he loses confidence in his jumper, he wants to finish at the rim. That's why he was so good with Love and Bosch. And why AD kind of fits, but for some reason, the last 3 years, AD can't shoot. It's gotten worse every year. But I mean, last night the Clippers barely played Kawhi Leonard. The Lakers played LeBron almost 40 minutes and the Clippers still controlled. So you got to make a move here. If you look at the schedule for the Lakers, the wins are in the first half of the season. The NBA stacked them up so the Lakers got some momentum. An easier schedule early. A lot of Utah, San Antonio, Wizards, Portland. They got a chance to win some games, make a move. And this is a very distracted city. The Dodgers are a go-for organization. USC, go for it. Lincoln Riley. The Rams, go for it. OBJ, Von Miller. The Chargers, go for it. Khalil Mack. This is a go-for-it, distracted city. You get lost fast if you're average or mediocre, even if you're the Lakers. I don't get it. We can all attack Westbrook the last 8 years. This is the 8th straight year they don't shoot threes. This is not a new development. The league has transitioned. There are no back-to-the-basket centers dominating the league. Even your bigs have to be able to shoot, make moves, take a big swing. Westbrook doesn't fit this, but it's not a Westbrook issue. The whole team are the symptoms to this issue. They can't shoot. It's a bunch of athletes past their prime, and my guess is this is the healthiest today as they'll be all season. This is an old roster. AD's already pulled his back. He's already holding his back, and we're in game 2. Gosh. All right, so like I said before, I was 4-1 last week with my amazing Blazin 5, and I'm hoping to pull out some other ones better this week. So we'll go ahead and take it.
Let's blaze it up. Fire it up.
All right. Browns at Ravens. One favorite I like is Baltimore. Minus 6.5. They lead every game by 10 points. It's a top 5 scoring offense, and their defense to take it away in 8 straight games. But this game is about Cleveland. They're banged up on the O-line, banged up on defense, and Jacoby Brissett, the league's figured him out. Last 3 weeks, he's completing 55% of his throws. He's 0-3. He's not always great, getting great protection. Also, Cleveland defense, due to Myles Garrett and Denzel Ward dinged up, they've been a terrible fourth quarter defense. The Ravens are furious. They believe they gave a game away last week. They'll come home, and they convincingly 28-20 over the Browns. It will not be this close enough. They'll control the game.
Packers and Commander.
You know Green Bay may win, but I'm going to take the 4.5 points. Taylor Heinicke had a great game the last time he faced the Packers, and he's completed 75% of his throws in 3 of his last 4 home starts. He's a gamer. He can play the Packers, had their fewest points scored in any 6-game span, and Aaron Rodgers' history, and then the second half. The last couple of weeks, they're a mess. David Bakhtiari all banged up. Randall Cobb is out. Christian Watson got a hamstring issue. They have no second gear, and their defense is not pressuring the quarterback. They're the only team opposing quarterbacks in the league that completing 70% of their passes. I think Washington, I'm going to take the points. I'll take the Packers and Aaron to make something happen late to win, but 27-24 Green Bay. Take the points.
Jets and Broncos.
I'll take the Jets +1. They don't need it, but they'll win outright. Listen, this franchise, they've taken the ball out of Zach Wilson's hands. He doesn't give any giveaways in 5 of his last 6 starts, and they're giving the ball to their running back through Breece Hall, who's great. 400 scrimmage with the last 3 weeks. This is a defense run first team, and they've taken the ball out of Zach's hands to make mistakes, but the story of this team is defense. Last 3 weeks, gaining confidence, playing their butts off, and they will dominate a massive offensive line in Denver. Even when Denver moves the ball, they're atrocious in the red zone. Is it the coaching? Is it Russell? Is it the O-line? I don't know what it is, but it is. So they're going to settle for field goals when they move it. I take the Jets to win 24-23. I like their optimism and energy and health right now.
Chiefs and 49ers.
I'll take the Niners. They won 6 straight home games with Garoppolo. Is always better at home, and they're getting healthier. They're averaging 7.3 yards after the catch. That's the best in the NFL. The Chiefs are not getting a great tackling team, but the Niners defense is getting healthier, and they are money, baby. And in this game, I think Nick Bosa is back. Jimmy Ward could be back. The Chiefs have allowed 3+ touchdowns in 5 or 6 most in the NFL. This is a leaky defense, and I know, they just lost to Buffalo. They lost to Buffalo because Buffalo in that game is a better team. San Francisco, though, not completely healthy at home, but it's a better team here, and they beat the Chiefs 30-27.
Seahawks and Chargers.
It's an interesting one. I initially leaned Chargers, but I'm going to take the Seahawks, and here's for a couple reasons. We have to be honest here. Geno Smith is playing well. 72% of completions, 13 touchdowns, 2 picks, and with these new rookie tackles in Seattle, both are fantastic. Kenneth Walker, they have a run game that's 2-tiered, and the Chargers, even when they won 3 of their 4 wins, have come by less than 6. So they're in a lot of close games. Justin Herbert got pressured 15 times last week. Their offensive line is still not completely healthy, and they're allowing almost 6 yards of play. I think it's really wildly entertaining game that could go either way, but we got to be honest here. These rookie offensive tackles for Seattle, Kenneth Walker, Rashad Penny, this offense now is for real. We've seen multiple picks of it. We've got a little upset here. I think the Seahawks win a wildly entertaining game, 28-24, and I was talked into that yesterday. So there are my picks for this week. I'm hoping to have almost a successful record, or even better. All right, so let's see how I do. College football, I will bring more in when they start talking about the college football playoff and we get closer to the top Final Four. We know with Michigan and Ohio State game, and we get to those big games towards the end of the season, stuff's going to change. Alabama, now has a loss. We know either Michigan or Ohio State's going to get a loss with that Michigan-Ohio State game. Tennessee still has to play Georgia. Clemson, they've got an easy schedule. They should win this game tomorrow against Syracuse. So that's at 12 noon. You got Iowa at Ohio State. You've got a lot of good stacked up games tomorrow. Texas at Oklahoma State at 3:30. And then Minnesota at Penn State, 7:30 in prime time. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you back here when we break it all down for you on Monday. This has been First and Tim.